Happy Wednesday, everybody! Welcome to the Wednesday edition of the Detroit Lions Lone Wolves podcast. I'm the Doc, John Macaroon. My goodness, I thought it was going to be an opportunity to talk about mock drafts, a little draft talk, a little Mel Kiper. Amon-Ra St. Brown made noise on his podcast. My goodness, we got to talk about it, obviously, because it opens up, and I'm thankful that on X, some of you understood my post where I said, nah, I think the trust meter from fans is a little bit lower, and naturally, being that the team has gone from the NFC Championship game to a first round exit to not in the postseason, there is more doubt. It's just natural and normal and expected. The Lions deserve side eye. That's what they get. Like, what are you doing? Why are you doing it? That's it. Only the slappies give universal love. And the slappies agree and insult you. Just look at it on the surface. I understand and I respect Amon-Ra St. Brown. He's of the opinion, look, we've had 4 winning seasons. We're doing good things. I respect my coach. I'm trying to be positive. But at the same token, the Lions fan base is bringing 50 years and 60 years of not being in the Super Bowl to every conversation. There should be no trust. The media is wild. Some media members, when players say the Detroit Lions fans don't know football, they're like, I love it, which is basically insulting you all, the audience. They're literally insulting the readers. You know who they are. You can go find it. They're like, I'm glad he said it. So as a public figure who writes, you endorse players insulting the fan base that is the most loyal, the most intense, the most supportive. They've put podcasters in the media. You're going to insult them so that you can support the team. You know who they are. You guys decide. I would never do that. We debate, we discuss, we respect each other. But let's set the table. What's your reaction? Amon-Ra St. Brown, I think, I love his competitiveness. I love his professionalism. But the comment made, and he backtracked a little bit. He's like, no, I love the Lions fans. But his brother's like, whoa, because of these comments. Let's play them and set the table. What was your reaction when you heard it? Mine was like, no, you can't say that. You can't earn trust. The Lions, every year, have to build a football team that can earn the trust of the fan base. There is no real clear momentum. Think about it. Just on the surface, I'm not being negative. Just think about it on the surface. Dan Campbell stood up there and said 2023 might have been our best shot. He stands up there and says that. And what about all the momentum? What about, wow, Brad Cook? What about all that momentum? You go to 24, you get all these injuries. You go to 25, you don't make the playoffs. So we're looking at the total picture of results, and I don't trust. DTA, don't trust anybody. Build a football team, get to the playoffs, win consistently. Otherwise, it's just hope. And the Slappies love to just live in hope land. And the Lions fan base is tired of it. Thank you guys for supporting. Make sure you smash the like button. What's your response? Let's play it. Amon-Ra St. Brown does a great podcast. We should encourage him to keep doing it, breaking down football, and he's talking about it. He's talking about in regards to Lions fans and the hire. And he kind of leaves out one name that maybe upset a lot of Lions fans. So we'll play it here. This is Amon-Ra St. Brown, the latest episode of the St. Brown podcast. He's talking with his brother, and he catches wind that, okay, there's an opportunity for, a reply to the Lions fans that were very upset.
I'm like, okay, boom, it's league. Let's go. We got our guy. Bro, I see crazy Lions fans talking crazy. Like, oh, why would we do this? Like, bro, do you guys, have no trust in Dan? Like, in the Lions? Like, you think they would just hire a random dude? Like, be for real. Like, you think they don't know what they're doing? They don't do the research. They don't interview. Like, most of you guys don't know really much about anything, about any ball.
Wow. Wow.
And you're tweeting about a coach that was hired that you guys don't like because of XYZ. Like, it's just funny to me to see. Don't get me wrong, I love all Lions fans, but they are so quick to make, judgments about who we hired, who we did this. Like, bro, just relax, calm down. Like, let the whole thing play out. Like, you guys Just let it play out. Just relax. That's all I gotta say. Relax, man. Relax. I'm like, okay, boom.
Relax, y'all. He needs y'all to relax. But the problem is, how do you relax when the Lions just fired John Morton? How do you relax? It's a little challenging to be on the calm side, and I think a healthy level of skepticism is fair. I think that, it's not being disrespectful. It's just you bring your history every year. This football team has not only never been in the Super Bowl, but also has had opportunities to be successful, but made some wrong turns. Pretty clearly. I mean, yes, fans were excited because they want anything. They thought that Matt Millen, a former linebacker, could lead the team. He got fixated on drafting wide receivers. They went with who I think ended up being a solid evaluator, but not a good GM. Martin Mayhew made an epic collapse with drafting a tight end as opposed to a legendary defensive tackle. Then you go with Bob Quinn, and he forgoes actually winning for nepotism and hires Matt Patricia when in the end you upset the apple cart because the locker room said, hey, we like and love Jim Caldwell. So here is my response. And remember, there are media members that are like, yeah, you guys don't know football. Are you kidding me? This fan base knows football top to bottom. You guys are watching as many podcasts, and you watch me, you watch others. You're supporting everything. And I'm thankful for that. You all thankfully and humbly put me as a regular citizen into the media. You all did that. So you all know football. And why? In return, I deliver videos, analysis, ask your questions. You all did that. Thank you. So you never say this fan base doesn't know football. To the degree that I would say this, you all are crazy. I might be one of them. You are crazy into your football team, as you should. You're watching film of Drew Petzing. You're watching film of all these guys. You're into it. You know what you're talking about. No, you guys know ball. And you can tell the difference between a realist and a slappy just like that. And you guys support multiple podcasts. You support multiple media members, a growing YouTube community. Are you kidding me? Amon-Ra St. Brown probably regrets saying that, but I get it. I understand why he said it. Shout out to you guys. Let's get the roll call here. Where's everybody listening in from on this beautiful Wednesday? Snowy in Michigan. Shout out to 40 Phenom, the Single Dads Club, Michael Dietz, Vincent, Hassanin Mahdi. I want to give a shout out to Teddy Fresh from me. I'm live today. Yesterday, I was at my daughter's soccer practice seeing you and going, look, there's some fans here that really enjoy the podcast. Look what we're building here. She was really excited. Thank you, Teddy Fresh. Humbly from my family to yours, thank you for supporting this podcast, and your super chats mean a lot to me. What bot 40 Phenom, DM5 TV, and the daily listeners, a guy that just started a daily YouTube podcast you guys are supporting. Edith Paul, Donkey Kong, TM, Martin Esquire. Always enjoy seeing you here. Always enjoy those that are coming in. It's Jay Stees. Yo, mama. It's Jay Stees. You can't guard Tom Izzo's mama. Tom Izzo with an all-timer. Bro, get it in gear. You can't guard my mama. That's an all-timer from Tom Izzo. Shout out to you. It's Jay Stees. Shout out to Hassanin Mahdi. Hi, my dear friend Habibi Doc. Beautiful Wednesday. Good to see you. Hearts to you and everybody overseas. What was your reaction when you saw that from me, courtesy of the St. Brown podcast? I love watching it. 40 Phenom. Love the show, Doc. Real one. That's a nice profile. Michael Dietz. Hello, Habibi, from the Polak. You know, I invaded the Polacks too. It's funny too, man. My dad dated a Polish lady, and I ended up marrying one. Great, man. Never a dull moment. Trayvon McBride, 5039. Trey listening from Dallas, Texas. What's up, Doc? Shout out to you, my brother. It's all good, man. Lions fan, hopefully, they turn it around. What did you think of the hire? What did you think of St. Brown? Telling you don't know ball. You kidding me? You know ball. You know to listen to your favorite homie podcaster, favorite reporter, insider, writer. Probably enjoying that nice weather while we're freezing our ass off. Man, Trayvon, Dallas was awesome. I went to Arlington. I was telling my wife, I'm like, man, the property values here are pretty fair. Hung out in Arlington for a couple of days, ate as much barbecue as I could, wearing shorts in October last year. Oh, it was nice. It was real nice. We drove up the highway to Fort Worth, got some barbecue. I was like, man, Dallas has a flow, but it gets hot. Whew. Plus, Trayvon, let's be real. In this day and age, I am an American citizen, but I don't want to be mistaken for something else. You know what I mean? Want to be ended up out of this town. You know what I mean? Be like, who are you? I'm like, I'm a podcaster. You're like, no, you're not. I'll be like, I'm American. They'll be like, no, you're not. We listen to your podcast. We need you out. Courtesy of the Ford family. Shout out to you, my man. Hope life's treating you well. Want to see more of you? Hit the comments too. Silent service. Doc just walked in the door. Nice. Enjoy over the next hour. Also at crunch time, we'll have some more fun. I know, right? I know it's nice. We have my wife has friends in Dallas. It was a great trip. That's why I went. Great barbecue. Oh, AT&T is nice. I was like, man, I don't want to, talk junk, but it made Ford Field look like it dwarfed Ford Field. Berg's Lions for life. Tell us to calm down. Why don't he get off the podcast and go back to the jug machine? Mr. Career high in drops this year. Listen, it's just not something you're supposed to say. The simple comment is, listen, guys, I know we had a setback. We got to come back and show you why we like this guy. Our offense is going to cook. That's all you got to say. You don't need to say fans and don't know football. Are you kidding me? This is a fan base that supports Michigan and Michigan State, where their coaches are booty before duty. They support them vigorously. We debate each other. Two coaches with the philosophy on their wall, booty before duty. We support them passionately. They support a program at Michigan that, went a little astray. We support Michigan State that went far astray. And they support the Lions, 60 years of futility. Are you kidding me? This football fan base would gripe about a 50% season ticket increase and still pay it. It's the greatest fan base in the world. Are you kidding me? You should not, and I just think athletes get a little sensitive, it's true. It's so true. Just from a reporter. If you talk nice about an athlete, they'll give you 1,000-word answers. If you just say, hey, man, you dropped the ball, what happened? On to the next play. They button up. I would be different. I would love to be a professional athlete and talk openly and honestly. It'd be refreshing. I'd be famous. It's a good question. Steve, it's a great question. Doc, why is the bar so low for these slap nuts? It's because they know how bad they felt when the team stunk. They didn't know how to. The slappies don't know how to regulate properly. That's all it is. They have so much fear and panic that the team is going to suck. They don't want that. That they're okay to the degree that, okay, they have more trust because the team wins games. But the barometer for me and a portion of the fan base has always been the same, whether they were a bad team or whether they're a team like in 2023. It's only been for me forever, from the time I was 15 years old. Are you number one or done? That's it. Yeah, you can say, are you building or whatever? But in the NFL, there's no momentum. There is no momentum in football. Ben Johnson just said it. He's like, we're back at the bottom. I made a joke on X about it. There is no momentum. Every year, you got to build 30% roster turnover. Every year, you got to shine in the draft, free agency. You got to make moves. You got to have the right coaches every single year. And so they just say, well, it's been worse. It's been so far worse that this is okay. It's like, no, man, you are either pushing and getting better or you're getting worse. That's the way it is. And it's just not a championship mentality. They don't know how to have it because they've never seen it. They don't know what pressure means to only demand a Super Bowl and everything else is irrelevant. They don't understand it. They don't want to explore it from that perspective because every year that you don't win it, it produces a negative thought. Yeah, because the number one goal every year is to win a Super Bowl, is to get your organization in place. And what's weird is it's not like the fans in here or others say, oh, let's go and look at what bad teams do. We say, hey, let's look what the Eagles are doing. Let's look at what the Seahawks are doing. Let's look what the Rams are doing. They seem to make some moves. But, there's opportunities to learn and grow. And I think that there's opportunities for the general manager to plug the holes a little bit faster. Michael Dietz, 3362, $2 super chat. He's like, for us, tickets up 10 grand. Screw you. Catch the damn football. Yeah, when you're charging these people $450 hard-earned dollars. I got in good. My tickets were $42 back in 2002. $40. 10 games, $420. 18 throw in the end zone. Those same tickets, $420 in 2020. In 2025, $4 grand. Come on now, for one seat. Come on now. Listen, you either take or you give. You know what I mean? And I wasn't giving anymore. Appreciate you, Keith Fountain. Tell it like it is, Doc. That's why we love your show, brother. And that's what it is. It's just it's a standard. The standard should always be the best, or why aren't you the best? Slappies just want a little more acceptance, a little more freedom to be happy. And they say, well, you're negative all the time. No, we're not negative. Like I said, if you think I was negative, I predicted 12 wins and a Super Bowl loss. That's what I thought. You know what I mean? But you have to love it, though. We don't want to disrespect the Slappies too much. They're nice people, but they just have a fan. Fan means, fanatic and positive and things like that. And this organ, and plus, listen, I've always said it in my critiques. Brad Holmes is one of your best 1-2 GMs your organization has ever had. But now we're going to judge Brad Holmes against the best GMs in the league. We're not going to judge Brad Holmes against Matt Millen. Come on. We're not going to judge Jared Goff against Matthew Stafford. Please, Stafford is irrelevant. Stafford's the gum on the bottom of my shoe. We're going to judge Jared Goff against Jalen Hurts and Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen and the top 5 that can produce. So, and I think Jared Goff, if you give him, all Jared Goff needs is, it's pretty simple. He just needs a left tackle, left guard, center, right tackle, right guard, couple edges, couple interior defensive linemen, Will, Mike, Sam, strong safety, that's all. You just need 21 good players. You got a chance. What was your reaction? Was it wrong? It's just wrong. Why do you think he said that? And also, too, the context is you just fired 2 of your first 3 offensive coordinator hires. Anthony Lynn wanted to run the football, couldn't do it. Now you went a little more modern and you got Ben Johnson. That was great. That was a nice run. Consistency. And so there is no trust. There should be no trust in my mind. It should be side-eye all the time. Why are you doing that? Why are you giving Amon-Ra $30 million? Okay, he's good. Okay, why are you giving Penei Sewell that much money? All right. The best metaphor I can use today is like a landlord that just rented out an apartment to a tenant that you think is going to pay, but you're not sure. They see a new boyfriend every couple of weeks. When are you going to pay your rent? All right, it's the 1st. All right. Tomorrow, the next day. When are you going to pay your rent? All right. I noticed that you've been buying a couple of headphones there. When are you going to pay your rent? Okay. I notice, your kids are floating around here with some of these Yeezys. You're going to pay your rent, right? And she's going to be like, dog, I just signed the lease yesterday. I'll be like, when you pay the rent? You know what I mean? 2 weeks later, I haven't seen any guys roll around. When are you going to pay the rent? I don't see you go to work. I don't see you leave this building. Where are you getting your money from? Are you doing that feet thing? When are you going to pay the rent? Side eye. That's how I am. Side eye. Always until they win. And it's normal. That's the standard they have. You think Dan is grumpy because he hates me? No, he's grumpy because he's not winning. Winning, he's smiling and going to Starbucks. Losing, the camera shuts off. Losing, he's masked up he doesn't want to be seen at Secretary of State. That's how it should be. That's how I've always wanted NFL teams. And now we're close. So here is my official reply for those that say trust the team. Here was my official reply, and you guys liked it. My official Detroit Lions lone wolf stance regarding Amon-Ra St. Brown. From the offices of Detroit Sports Podcast LLC and my beautiful office here in Macomb Township. Detroit Lions, trust me, bro, in the 60s, in the 70s, trust me, bro. In the 80s, trust me, bro. In the 90s, trust me, bro. In the 2000s, trust me, bro. In the 2010s, trust me, bro. In the 2020s, trust me, bro. No, I'm sorry. You just don't have my trust. Ever of everdom. How about you do something first? Get to a Super Bowl and maybe we'll back off. Maybe we'll slow down. Maybe just a little bit. Our demands will be like, okay, you got to the Super Bowl. It'll hurt. No. From the offices, no. No trust until you do something. And that's the way it should be. You guys should demand excellence. You deserve it. For the money, investment, time. You guys are watching a podcast, 300 people on a Wednesday. No. You can't pay the rent without pre-snap motion. Where's the pre-snap motion, Drew? Be like, that was the first play of training camp. Why is this guy blowing a whistle? Drew, we noticed that your pre-snap motion in training camp wasn't there today. Be like, it was a walkthrough, dog. I'd be like, yes, we are that intense. Yes, that's the championship mentality. Guys, and plus too, I love sports, but on the side, I listen to like motivational speakers, what the wealthy do, what the successful do. And it's a uniform driven, process driven plan that you got to be committed and you got to be crazy. That's how it's got to be. What was your guys' reaction? Donkey Kong, Goffel will not win a Super Bowl. Never. He needs a perfect team. Won't happen in Detroit. Listen, you just need 21 good players, man. We're getting close. Donkey. Yes, TM. Exactly. Lions got to earn fan trust. Now, what's your reaction to them saying, well, we had 4 straight winning seasons? You get credit for not being terrible, but it's like on a scale of 1 to 10, a 3. That's your job. That's what you're getting paid all those $1 million to do, is to put together a good football team. And also the factor that people got to also remember, that Amon-Ra's got to remember, is it used to cost $50 to watch the Lions. Now it costs $350. So your emotional attachment and your expectations should go up. I mean, there's some media members that if the Lions raise the ticket prices to $1,000 a game, would tell you guys to pay it. I cannot believe a media member would say, I like to hear that Amon-Ra St. Brown says that you guys don't know football. I'm shocked. I'm truly shocked. Those are the readers. Why are you telling your readers that they don't know football? You guys know football and are correcting me sometimes. You guys literally will pick out stuff from the bottom of my article. I'm like, wow, they're really into reading this. And I'm really proud of you guys. I'm happy. X the Trim Reaper. DP is going to have the rushing attack back on track. Guaranteed. Hope so. And also, too, let me address that. It's a good point. What I think is being failed to be really eloquently discussed is really, most people aren't really worried about Drew, Petzing. They're mourning that they had a pretty decent feeling that Mike McDaniel would work here. He had two great weapons there, and also too, and I love you guys for it. You guys are like, yeah, Dan's offense is great, but it didn't win a Super Bowl. Throw it out the window. See, I love it. You guys are like, if it didn't produce a Super Bowl, we could throw it all away if it doesn't work. It didn't produce a Super Bowl. Mike McDaniel, if he wants to make changes, come right in and do whatever you want, bro. Let's see what happens. 5 years so far, and we have no Super Bowl. We've gone backwards. So the Lions fans are not attached to this offense. Why would I be attached to it? He could come in here and say, trash it. Let's start all over and take 2-3 years. And the belief was there. There would have been a certain level of faith that McDaniel could have did it just based on the fact that that offense was cooking and was explosive and had some production. And there was a faith there that, you know what, McDaniel might be the best guy. And now two things can be true. He might have been the best candidate. It doesn't mean that Drew's going to suck, but I feel like McDaniel, now he gets hired by Harbaugh. What are the tenets of Jim Harbaugh? Run the football. I feel like the Chargers are going to be successful, guys. Come on. I feel like they're going to take a step. Maybe not Super Bowl step, but that offense I feel is going to be successful. And I feel like everybody sensed it, that the level of success with Mike McDaniel, working with everybody, would have put people in the right position. But I think the tenet that Dan Campbell wanted does not suit the fans. You want loyalty for multiple years. Listen, if you just say, we get McDaniel, you consider, hey, this fan base doesn't have loyalty to the team. They would say, you know what? Dismiss Calvin Shepard, go get Gannon, go get an NFL head coach, go get Flores. We're pushing for these next 2 years. And we feel like now most fans believe, and also when people are mad, people view it as a negative. No, it's not a negative. It's actually a sign of respect that we actually had belief in you. You let us down. We had belief. We are into it. What the sign is when you're frustrated that NFL teams don't want is aloofness. No, man, you guys care. You guys are reading, you're checking out podcasts, you're supporting multiple platforms. Anger just means they haven't done enough to make you satisfied. And I think the fans would have been satisfied and the trust would have been there if they had a former NFL coach. People like, well, why? Psychologically, you just have to be aware. What did the Chiefs do? What did the Alabama Crimson Tide do? They went out and signed a bunch of coaches that got dismissed. They came in and used their skills to build. The Chiefs, Matt Nagy, Steve Spagnuolo, flamed out. Matt Nagy was the coach of the Bears. The coach of the Bears. And so we now think, oh, the Chiefs were able to take, and the Alabama Crimson Tide were able to take a bunch of these coaches, bring them back home, and able to flourish. Steve Spagnuolo is an NFL coach working on the sideline. And we got, quote unquote interns. You brought, and it's a big mistake. Unfortunately, Dan Campbell understands it. In 2025, with the team that you had, you brought 2 interns to coach your team. We needed high-level PhD teachers. I'm not bringing my daughter in here to host a show for an hour every day. You got me, 15-year broadcaster, can talk, can relate, can eloquently, humbly speak his mind. Imagine if I was fumbling over my words and sounded like a slappy. You guys would hate me. You turn me off. Every stream, thank you guys, starts off with 100 people, ends up with 1,000 people. Thank you. Smash the like button for your friendly homie podcaster. It's because of the strong demand to win. And there's a mourning period, not for Drew. This is not about Drew P. This is just mourning the feeling that you believe the faith would have been the highest if you had 2 former NFL coaches running the coordinator spots. That's all. Shows fans cared. Of course, TM. Care a lot. Fanatically. Is JC's Brian Flores staying with the Vikings? Listen, it's the idea. Gannon, former NFL coach, had success. Some guys take the leap to be a coach. They're not good. They need to get back down. Even Salah might have been it feels like the Lions have their vision. They have their vision board, and the outside opinion, the lone wolves are not yelling loud enough that maybe their plan isn't good enough, that it's good enough to get to the playoffs. It's good enough to be okay. They need a yeller like me to be in there like, wait a minute. Are we doing enough to get to the Super Bowl? Are we doing enough to turn over every single stone? It's not bringing in John Morton and Kelvin Shepard as your coordinators in a year when you're trying to win a Super Bowl. It's not foregoing free agency and making lateral moves. It's way too much trust. And of course, I have the benefit of hindsight. But in the end, we have 5 years of no Super Bowl with this regime. And so now you're at the point where people are getting impatient, especially when they're paying more. That's all. This is sports. This isn't Slappy Town where you get 15 years to try. The fans broomed out Mike Tomlin, and he never had a losing season, ever, in the history of Everdom. Coaches are hired to get fired. That's the way it is. That's the way it always will be. Win, people are happy. And hell, you might only get 365 days if you win a Super Bowl. That's the competitive nature of sports fans, as it should be. And the ticket prices, right? The ticket prices, holy cow. Shout out to my friends, Crunch Time Booner, the DOC. Drop a question in there, partner. What's going on with you? I look forward to our talk. Always, best day of the week. Zach J7621, fans don't know football, says the guy from the team sitting at home in January. I don't know. Fans were smart enough to know you needed an edge the last 2 years. Mic drop. They knew that your interior wasn't good enough. Me, Booner, and Hefe were questioning this in August. Where's the interior pass rush going to come from? Reader and Tyleek Williams and Ali McNeil, when he comes back, is not going to really provide that. They're going to do one thing good, but they're not going to do the other thing good. We know. We knew the holes. And we talked about, hey, the coordinators, we hope, are not a narrative. I was wrong. I thought the coordinators would not be a narrative based on the talent. Guess what? Turns out coaching matters. Whoops. Offense, defense, special teams. And the special teams wasn't as good. Dylan Campbell. Lions need defense at defensive end, defensive tackle, linebacker, safety, cornerback, offensive guard, center. And the Slappies are like, whoosh, we're going to get it all. And they're all going to stay healthy and they're all going to produce. You know where they could have got all those beautiful positions? In the draft the last 3 years. Man, could you have had Cooper DeJean? Hello, baby. Could you have had defensive tackle Kobe Turner? Hello, baby. Keith Fountain, haven't heard anything but crickets on any kind of changes on the defense. So much for this so-called deep dive. Listen, it's still January. First of all, probably there was a vacation had. Let the guys get away for a week. Now they're getting back and starting to review. What the heck happened? Probably Dan Campbell evaluated the Vikings game, then went to Secretary of State. That was him going, damn, I just watched and I just had to listen to Crunch Time and Booner rip me apart for the Vikings game. They saw Hefe crash out about Drew P. And he's like, I can't. These people don't like me. I can't. I'm going to cover up. All your germs shall not invade me. I love it. Could you imagine you're at Secretary of State and there's Dan Campbell? Would you go up to him? No, that was real. I know a lot of people said that was real. From my perspective, that was posted I saw it from his wife's Instagram account. That was not AI. No, it was real. I know it looked real, right? It looked AI generated. Oh, you guys are funny. X the Trim Reaper, love your passion. Yeah, you hate losing more than you like winning. There's a feeling you get. And listen, I can't claim to be some world-class athlete, but I played tennis in high school. And I like competing. Chess, poker, I play all the sports a little bit, and you try to be the best at what you're doing. Why go out there and try to be and be somebody that's not going to go for the win? You know, I was a average poker player at best. I still went to Connecticut, had fun, dropped $500 on a tournament, and I'm sitting at a table full of pros, and it's going raise in limit poker like 20 years ago. It's going raise. I'm like, these guys don't have anything, but I patiently waited. I competed. Out of a field of 500, I finished 24th, and I was happy. I doubled my money. It was a profitable trip, but when I busted out, I was pissed. I wanted to win. First place would have been 14 grand. That would have been sweet. Or no, maybe more, like 25 grand. So that was the best placement, but I was pissed, but it was a great time. Sitting there, and I'm like, okay, these guys are hilarious. Raise with limit. I'm like, okay, these guys don't have it. So then I started mixing it up a little bit, bluffing a little bit, caught some cards, but you want to compete and you care. The reason why we're mad is because we want to win. And we've been kicked in the nuts for 38 years, you know? And also too, I was a season ticket holder. I dropped my cash, but you know, like a true Arab, I got my investment back in spades. I put in so much, I got so much back. $40 feet on. Anyone found Rakestraw? He's rehabilitating. Listen, credit him. He got his degree, went to Missouri, went back, got his degree. Hopefully he comes back. Oh, I'm on the air and there's breaking news. Oh, no. Oh, no. Unfortunately, guys, Booner got hit by ice. For real. Breaking news, Booner got hit by ice. Damn, Booner. Listen, I thought his Polish ass was legal. Booner will not be, based on this text, Booner will not be appearing on this episode of Crunch Time. Listen, tell him you're legal and the fake ID that you're producing is real. Drop him a couple hundred, they'll leave you alone. I'm hearing 300, get you out, get you out. Booner got hit by ice. Ain't that a B? Oh, man. Listen, we might have to do GoFundMe for some legal services here for my friend. Or should we just let him deal with his problems? Davy Booter, good luck. You know, I'll message you for real off when I'm done. My goodness. What would it take? Now, we always spend a little bit of time complaining. What would it take in this offseason to get the trust back? Let's repair the trust circle here. How do we get... right? Right. What would repair the trust circle? What could Brad Holmes do to repair the trust circle? What moves would he make? How do we get the trust back? To me, it's a splash signing and being shrewd. Here's what he could do. You build as much capital in free agency as possible, potentially part ways with, you just got to part ways with Taylor Decker. You need that $20 million. You part ways with David Montgomery. You get that $5 million. You part ways with Graham Glasgow, Alex, and DJ. They all, boom. And when free agency hits, I want to see, my number is 4, transactional activity report. TAR. The TAR report every year has got to be between 4 and 5. You got to hit on 3 good free agents, 4 good free agents, and 1 or 2 trades. The TAR, the transactional activity report, has got to be 4 to 5 every year. I don't care about your efforts. I care about your results. You got to restructure Jared Goff. Part ways with Brock Wright. I want to see a splash. I want to see that you made a $17 million a year, 5-year offer for Linderbaum. I want to see action, urgency. And then, of course, what's the weirdest thing is, which I don't, listen, I know my guy, Grant Cohn with the 49ers. It was like God was trolling me. I'm scrolling. He does great content. If you want to be entertained, that guy has a lot of fans and a lot of haters, but he puts out a report and he's like, I'm hearing, and this is his headline. I don't want to hate on him, but I said, F this. His headline for the 49ers was, I'm hearing the 49ers are going to be aggressive in free agency. That was his headline. And by God, I almost slammed my phone down. I almost picked up my phone and slammed it down in the ground. He's hearing that the 49ers are going to be aggressive. I'm like, wow. You know what I hear? Don't call me again, MF. The 49ers are going to be aggressive. Grant Cohn is an OG. I like talking to him. He's got personality. He understands this business the way it's supposed to be done. He is hilarious. But I looked at that headline and I said, no, come on, man. That can't be a headline. Doc, do you know football? It's the question of the day. Do I know football? I will always leave it up to you to decide that. But check out the 3 players on Lions on SI that I think are going to shine under the new offensive coordinator. And tell me if I didn't do a little film study and give you a little nugget of info. Listen, there's going to be guys that live in the film room. I would prefer to do this. I spend time in the film room. I spend a lot of time reading. I spend a lot of time talking, texting. But the film room, I would say I give it 10% less than the film guys. I watch it, I understand it, I go through it, and then I complement it with the experts. I like watching film. It's great. But being that I don't know what play is called, being that I don't know the philosophy, the sequencing, all that kind of stuff, I get the foundational pieces of, okay, this guy's going to be in the A gap. This guy's supposed to be here for the most part. But my understanding is more through the creation of football content. I understand football. The X's and O's, I understand. I understand the basics of each position and what their responsibilities are. I understand what's supposed to look right. And also, too, I also know how to compare what other teams are doing that succeeds versus what the Lions do. And I can smell, let me put it the right way. I can smell the football team veering off the path of the Super Bowl faster than anybody. I know what it looks like. That's why I told you after the Packers game, something ain't right. I said to Dan, and I think that the reflection of my questions to Mr. Dan Campbell were indicative of the problems of the team. Dan, why aren't you using Montgomery the right way? I asked him that. Dan, fourth down calls. You're 0 for 2, 0 for 3, 0 for 4. You're still making the same call. Dan, I noticed that the offense that you rolled out there with preparation in week 1 wasn't to the standard of a Super Bowl. You all told me that's too soon, Doc. 60 minutes is too soon to critique the coach. I'm like, no, it ain't. No. We're a Super Bowl team. We critique week 1. No. And boy, it helped a little bit, but the run game was off. So I think I know football enough to do what I need to do. To be able to communicate effectively, to write effectively, to maintain employment gainfully, and to have the bosses that everybody I've worked with seems to like me. Kyle Bear. Title seems a bit of a reach. He was clearly referencing that fans are quick to judge without looking into it deeper, in my opinion. No, look, he said, quote, fans that don't know anything about football. And look, you don't have to make excuses. That's kind of how athletes kind of think, but they're not supposed to say it out loud. You know what I mean? Because we don't know the inner workings of why Mike McDaniel is not there. Maybe they said to him, maybe Mike McDaniel, they said, hey, sign right now. And he's like, well, I want to wait a week. It's cold here. I want to see, does this temperature ever get any hotter? And, you know, the teams try to save face all the time. So in the end, it's just something that can always be the disconnect between the player, and the player always has to be hopeful. I mean, if someone, listen, Kyle, if someone was giving me $30 million, I would tell you guys in the camera, I think the Lions are going to win the Super Bowl every year. My threshold would be 30 million to blow smoke up your ass. 30 million is good. That's a good number. I'd be like, guys, everything the Lions do is great. Here's A to Z why the Lions are great. Lions Today has a channel, baby. Good. Drop it in the comments. And also, too, just remember, Amon-Ra is a young man. He's very competitive. He's in his 20s. He also picked the Texans to beat the Patriots. So he's about as good as predictor as you and I. I thought the Patriots were going to win just because I always favor the home teams. So, what would Brad Holmes do to repair the trust circle? We got about 10 minutes left, and then we're going to go through Mel Kiper's mock draft. He put his first one out. What could Brad Holmes do this offseason? I told you what I said. What could Brad Holmes do to make you kind of feel better? Do you think Booner is going to get out of his ICE legal problems? Listen, Boone, if you have real legal problems, I'll figure out a way to get you some cash, brother. Those legal bills, those ICE legal bills, going to pile up. Don't worry about Booner. ICE will let him go. I'll make some calls. Kyle, I can agree he shouldn't have said it, but he's not wrong. So you think most Lions fans don't know football? Listen, you also have to respect the fact that Anthony Lynn, John Morton, but, you know, this hire has the potential to succeed. He's younger, but he's got to call the plays. He's got to nail the opportunities when he's given to call the right plays. There's skepticism. Remember, this Lions team, no matter what, has earned the side eye. They're like, okay, we'll listen. We'll listen to what you're saying. We're not going to dismiss you, but we're going to give the side eye. That's what I'm doing. I'm giving the side eye. Why? Why'd you do this? Why'd you do that? And I think that's hence how I ask questions. I ask the side eye questions like, wait a minute, you keep saying you're going to use David Montgomery, but you're not using him. Why? So that's a good question, Kyle. Casual fans that emotionally react and not logically. No, they just don't know how to eloquently describe where the emotion's coming from. I can do that for you. The anger comes from the fact that you target a number one guy. He's a former head coach, and there's a belief that, well, if Jim Harbaugh is going to hire him, he's a guy that loves to run. He's a guy that went to Michigan, and everybody that watches Michigan Wolverines football would indicate that he kind of likes to run the football. He hired Mike McDaniel. There's a belief that it's not Drew Petzing over Mike McDaniel. Both can be successful, but I tend to believe that in the ranking of, if you ask 1,000 NFL minds, who's a better coach, Mike McDaniel or Drew Petzing, I would say 99% are probably going to say Mike McDaniel. And most fans believe that in order to win a Super Bowl, listen, the Lions are a good team. They have a good franchise. They have a good evaluation system, but it's not elite. It's not Super Bowl caliber. Most fans believe that to get over the big mountain to win a Super Bowl, you got to do extraordinary things. Extraordinary. And it goes beyond a Jared Goff and an Amon-Ra and a Penei Sewell and a Jack Campbell and a Sam Laporta and a Brian Branch and a great general manager and a great head coach. Do we got a Super Bowl, Kyle? More, beyond. It goes beyond a Graham Glasgow and a Penei Sewell and a Tate Ratledge and a Jamison Williams and a Jahmyr Gibbs entering his prime. We still don't got a Super Bowl, bro. What's the next thing beyond elite coaching? Dan Campbell, motivator, gets the guys to play, hasn't caused the team to crack on them. They try. That's good. In-game can be better. What else can help? Two coordinators. So we're now, Kyle, which is so true, and I hope I'm eloquently saying this. The reason why fans are the most loud and are reacting emotionally is because, truthfully, you're the closest you've ever been. You're right there in paradise. You're right there looking at it. You're right there looking at paradise. The beautiful flowers, the beautiful women, the beautiful men. Everybody's naked, having a good time. All the butlers are nice. Nobody's ripping you off. You're in the paradise, but there's a big glass window staring you in the face, and you can't get the code. And you're right there, and all you need is the 4-digit code. And nobody's giving it to you. You're right there. The reason why fans are this mad is the belief is the highest. My belief is the highest it's ever been. It's the highest it's ever been. With a general manager you respect, a head coach that's got the team balling. What's next? You got some all pros. You got a core about as good as you can get. You paid damn near everybody. How much better can you get within the parameters of reality, bro? So now people are looking at, okay, a couple pieces here, a couple more depth pieces at defensive line and defensive end, and some coordinators, and you might be there. You might get the 4-digit code to unlock paradise. That's why it's not illogical. They're angry because the belief is there. You're close. It's logic. You're not mad that the team didn't get Mike McDaniel. It's a proven NFL coach that, he can do some things. In 2023, he had Tua drop 4,600 yards. That equates to like 9,000 yards for Jared Goff. Tua sucks, bro. Let's be real. Tua sucks. So it's the belief that you're right there at the doorstep. We're looking at paradise, bro. We're looking at the penthouse. You're looking at paradise. You're right there. Couple more moves, couple more aggressive moves in free agency. You could have been having a Super Bowl. The fans are right to be this way. You're right there, Kyle. You're right there. Couple more coaches, couple more players. You're like 80% of the way there, 75% of the way there. But they're not doing the last things that people see that win Super Bowls. Great coordinators, great depth at certain spots, interior pass rush, some depth, stop taking projects. You can go find Kyle and you can be our logical reporter here, but go find me a general manager in the prime drafting guys that are going to sit for 3 years. You just don't find that. They get cut maybe after 2, but not guys that you don't even get a chance to see. You're right there. And so the emotion comes because you can taste it. It's right there. We're not wrong. With a better defensive end strategy and a defensive line, the 24 team probably could have been much better, and the 25 team could have gotten to the playoffs and won some games. In my humble opinion, Kyle. See? Just because we're emotional doesn't mean we're not logical. You just need someone smart enough to explain it to you, my man, KB. Hope to see more of you. Mel Kiper, before we get out of here, check me out, 8:45, for more of your friendly homie insider NFL podcast or your favorite entertaining. And some people say I am humbler than what I let on. I am a bright individual. I can put some thoughts together as to why this kind of stuff happens. Mel Kiper dropped a mock draft. And I'm going to say this. It doesn't really get your rocks off. It's kind of boring. I was like, damn. I was like, a guard? I was like, could you give us a defensive end, Mel? Listen, Mel's first mock drafts are always, they don't warm the cockles at all. His mock drafts are always off. He kind of locks into the position a little better as he gets going. But his first mock draft, no bueno, in my opinion. I give it a C. And we might go a little longer because I'm hearing, like I said, Booner's with ice. So check me out, 8:40, maybe 8:30, a little earlier. I'm going to help out my guy, Hefe. We'll do a little talking. But here, this is also, too, what I appreciate you guys supporting. Your support of the podcast and the website. Check it out. Humbly, I did not start out being a great writer, but I've worked diligently with Vito Churko, Emmett Matisovsky, and Christian Boer, reading their work, grinding, reading everybody's work. I've turned myself into what I would say a semi-productive writer. And over 7 years, I've put out about 7,000 articles, videos, and the website is very clean. And I want to promote it because I put a lot of work into it. The podcasts come naturally because I've been doing it for 15 years. The work I do is this website. And let me just promote it. I don't promote it too often because I know you guys know where it is. But this is a clean website. OnSI has provided me with all the tools to create a website that really is beautiful for the Detroit Lions. I'm so humbled that they've given me the control of it for 7 years. They haven't booted me. They've looked past the yelling and screaming and constant competitiveness to let me run a website for 7 years that's put out and has 4 great writers. Give it a click. Listen, it's not for me. It's for the great writers like Christian Boer, Emmett Matisovsky, Vito Churko. They get supported by writing for this website. I'm good. Listen, I'm Lebanese. I'm a good guy. I have means and I'll be okay. But support the guys because if it goes away, then those guys get a source of income cut off. And the blessing is, if you want to know, I pay them. I have 3 journalists on staff and I'm the podcaster. So if you think I'm some egomaniac, I could have took all the money. But I redistribute the wealth to journalists and 3 great ones, Emmett, Christian, and Vito, far smarter than me, far more fundamentally sound than me. I just know how to put words together and also grind. Those guys are hard workers and make sure this site looks clean. And I humbly will do anything to support my guys. They stuck with me when I was grinding, when the site wasn't popular early on. In 2019, we made it popular through sheer hard work. And so we're in the mix, battling out with the traditional media. We're doing a good job, thanks to you guys. So it's real simple. It's not really, there's some ads there. Listen, if you visit bad things on the internet, some Google stuff might pop up over here. Listen, it's the way of the world. If you're looking up some inappropriate stuff, look what's going to pop up. Look what's going to pop up. Breast exam. What do you think Doc's been paying? All kidding aside. A couple of ads here and there help the cause. With pick 17, Kiper has the Lions targeting Penn State Nittany Lions guard Olavega Ione. Detroit took Tate Ratledge in round 2 of the 2025 draft, but there are still issues on the interior. Center, maybe left guard. The Lions were 31st in pass block win rate at 55.5%, meaning Jared Goff was on his ass quite a bit. Your defensive line, your opponents, their defensive linemen were winning a little bit more than they needed to be. With all their skill on offense, that has to be fixed. And while taking a guard in the first round isn't the most exciting, Ione is extremely talented. Goff would appreciate his ability to sustain blocks and that he hasn't given up a sack since 2023. That's a plus. Maybe a guard to compete with Mahogany and Frazier. And Jahmyr Gibbs and Montgomery will love the way Ione gets to the second level and moves defenders out of rushing lanes. And this is my contribution to the story. At 6'4" and 328 pounds, the talented guard is known as an above-average pass blocker, pass protection. Last season, he only allowed a total of 4 pressures and did not allow a single sack. Draft analysts have praised his power, strong lower body, and noted that he should become stout as a run blocker early in his career due to his aggression and strong fundamentals. In 2024, Only penalized 3 times. What do you guys think of Mel's first mock draft? Any draft crushes before we get out of here? Might go a little bit longer. Mishanuga, what's going on? Drop a super chat for missing. It's 7 o'clock every day, my man. Smash the emoji. Smash the like button. Mishanuga. Roll call here. Shout out to those 500 people in here across 2 platforms. Corey Patterson, Donkey Kong, Mishanuga, Antonarcane 202, Corey Patterson, DM5TV, Mondo Ray Moore 8375, TM Martin Esquire 6216, Corey Patterson, my guy. Lions today, ball knower. All of you ball knowers. Brent DeWitt smashing the emojis. The Doc is the people's media champ. He keeps it 100 on the air and at Allen Park. Going strong since 2013, man. And listen, I'm one of you. I'm really just a fan of NFL football. I was a season ticket holder of the Lions, and it's not holding them accountable. It's my natural curiosity. Why aren't you a winner? It's my demand. Why aren't you a winner? Because you see what others do that win. Good coaching, good general managership, good roster, eventually get a good quarterback, running back. You have an organizational structure. There's a demand. And what has started to happen with me, why I'm more grumpy, and you say, man, I'm not negative. It's a thirst and a hunger to see you guys happy and to see my nephew jumping up and down in the arms of his family and high-fiving and winning. And anything that veers off of that doesn't make me happy. And I'm starting to feel like, okay, the Lions are getting closer, but the last couple pieces that they need to hit the success meter is not there yet. Draft strategy could be a little bit better, 5%. Coaching decisions could be better, 5%. Are you willing to go outside the box? 5%. You're right there. Right? Lions today is going to keep it a buck and keep it simple. I have an idea. Start winning and fans won't complain. It's a business that we as fans receive the bad end for almost 100 years. We are so close but need to get better. No broken players. I hear you. You're right there. And that's why I think you can understand, because we can eloquently say we feel like the Lions are close. But close is not good enough. It's not good enough. Not for you guys, not for the best fan base in the world, the smartest fan base, the most loyal fan base. Let me tell you something. I thank God every day for a couple things: health, happiness, a great looking voice, Mediterranean olive oil skin, great family. Every working part works very well. Testosterone through the roof. And I thank God every day I was born in Detroit. Now, in the middle of this shit with all the weather, I tell my mom, like, why can all the Middle Easterns go to freaking California? Why couldn't you be like all the Persians and end up in like San Diego? Like, why the hell did you come here? It's freezing. But outside of freezing my nuts off, I'm thankful, truly, that I cover Detroit sports. It's the best fan base, most crazy fan base. Y'all supported a podcaster to get to cover the NFL, which is really unheard of from what I was trying to do. I'm thankful I work in Detroit. I only want to do this. And the funny part is some fans that read my little soliloquy about don't trust anybody online are like, go cover another team. I'm like, why would I do that? I represent the Detroit Sports Podcast. I wear a hat 99% of the time, and it says Detroit on it. Why would I go cover another team? Wouldn't make me happy. Mondo Ray Moore, 8375. Holmes' draft record is decent, but he absolutely sucks when it comes to free agency. Being good enough ain't good enough no more. No pun intended. Facts. Yes. Gromit, the honeymoon's ended. Yes. Championship game, first round exit, no playoffs. Honeymoon's over. The Slappies are still high in La La Land. No, the honeymoon's is over. Win. The honeymoon's over. No, I ain't going anywhere. Listen, I said, even, maybe down the road in 15 years, a residence maybe have to be purchased down south, but my residence will always be Michigan. But, I need this is the grind now from now until February 21st. This is tough, man. It's bone chilling cold and it gets tougher every year. It's cold, but we still tough it out. I like going for walks in the morning in this kind of weather. Get your thoughts together, little prayers, little gratefulness. Kyle Bear 1. Doc, please read this post in your free time. Yeah, drop it. I'll read it for sure. I'm open to read anything. Why? Is it going to be why 98% of teams don't win? I'm definitely curious to read it. Drop it in the comments on the show or drop it here. Probably wait for the show to be done. Drop the link of what I should read. That's never going to happen. DM5 TV, how do we get the Slappies to stop buying the season tickets? If that were accomplished, Sheila would have no choice but to do better. Listen, they know it's loud, but in the end, football fans are amongst the most rabid. There's only 16. There's only 8, 9 home games, so it's just real tough. No lie, I enjoy Mel Kiper and give him a lot of credit for making the draft fun. He definitely was part of that for sure. Keith Fountain, we're at that point. Who the hell is Mel Kiper? He is the ESPN draft analyst. Memory for days. Super smart, super wise. Good dude. Doc, would you sign Kyle Pitts? Not in the past, but with this opportunity, why not? 13 personnel. You're going to need, if the Lions are going to run 13 personnel, they're going to need 8 tight ends. Because 3 of them are going to fall in training camp. 3 will fall by week 3. Yes. All the tight ends. Yes. But he needs, I feel like he's missing that Lions grit mentality to be able to meet his potential. Maybe he'll get it here. I feel like he's underachieved. You're going to need 13 tight ends for 13 personnel. What did you guys think? Thumbs up on a guard. I think that, people are looking at Miami right now, Indiana. Defensive ends, offensive linemen, tackles. Guard, I don't think was it. Right. And to leave before I get out of here, go check out Crunch Time. Russell Brown, the great draft analyst, will be joining Hefe. Hefe's alone. Listen, let's have some fun. Go over from here. Tell Hefe it's the best show that he's ever done. The show is so much better. It's an inside joke. We know Booner's very well respected. He's a fan. He's a supporter, a member here. But just go have fun and be like, man, what's going on? Just be like, this is the best show I've ever read. This is the best show. What's different? Don't act like it's because Booner's not there. Just be like, what's different? The show, something's different with the show. The show's really good today. the show, tell him the show is really, really good today. Just bombard his chat with, man, the show is really, really good today. Thank you guys for listening. Again, just pick and choose your, content creators wisely. If I can do better, let me know. But I cannot sit here and say that I would agree with Amon-Ra St. Brown saying that you guys don't know anything and then post on my social media, yeah, I love it. No, we don't trust for a reason. Trust is earned. And I think that in all my years, 15 years now, you've seen my posts. The one thing that I'm very proud of is I think, and I truly believe I've earned your trust. You may not like what I say, and you may not agree with what I say, but I think you understand that the guy that's saying is real, and I'm not saying it because I need clicks. I don't need any clicks. I don't need any clicks, guys. I don't need them. I don't want them. I'll give them back. So if you tell me you're just a hot take blowhard, I'm going to tell you this is what I think, and I say what I think. That's how I grew a podcast. And my touchdown was in 2019 when a major company said, we want you, Mr. Macaroon, and you run our operation. That was my touchdown. And they empowered me to just speak my mind. And that's what I do. I hope you trust that. I don't just say things just to say them. I believe what I say. I've been on the Lions quarterbacks for 15 years. It's not because it's the popular thing to do. No, I yelled and screamed that giving Stafford $25 million a year in 2017 was stupid. And boy, you guys didn't like me then. That was a fun ride. So I hope you believe it. And listen, in the end, if you disagree, well, maybe Amon-Ra's right and you just don't know football. So pardon me. I'm John Macaroon. I represent the Detroit Sports Podcast. I really humbly appreciate the time that you give to tune in, to comment, to smash the like button, become members, to give the super chats. That means a lot to me. Super stickers, everything that you guys bring to the table makes me happy. So I can't say I like it when you guys get picked on. You guys are hardworking, you're loyal, and you literally put a podcaster into the media. You guys did it. It wasn't me. I just said, I'm going to do it, and said, I think I have the support to do it. Keith Fountain, that means a lot to me. Yes, you have earned the trust for sure, Doc. Yes, for sure. Now, I'm still working on the media. Still working on that tough-nosed media. We're working on it. Getting them to laugh a little bit, loosen up a little bit. We're getting there. They might be reading my stuff, but I know they're seeing my posts. All right, 20 minutes or so. Check out Crunch Time. It's a great opportunity to check out me talking, and we'll continue the conversation. Hey, an hour of me, maybe another hour and a half. Let's go. Check out Crunch Time. You might see, I'd probably just do a little quick hat change, and we'll have a good time. Hop on over there. Give Hefe the support. Some draft talk. Russell Brown is really smart. And we'll talk soon. I'm John Macaroon. I represent the Detroit Sports Podcast, and this is made possible thanks to OnSI, a wonderful, beautiful sports partner that lets us do what we got to do. We'll check back in tomorrow. Let's go. You guys are ball knowers, smart, passionate, loyal Detroit Lions fans. Thank you for letting me be a podcaster you listen to.